What's up, guys? I don't hear nobody, so I'm just guessing that everybody is a-okay. Um, so we're here. I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. Hopefully that just before we start. Um, Trust me, I'm with a ball of nerves today, as well as I'm sure with, Chrissy is a ball of nerves. But this should be really interesting. But first, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ray Velez. I am your host for today. It is an honor, definitely an honor, and I hope that I'm as great as the founder of Love Shouldn't Hurt, Miss Christina Vega. I know that tonight we will learn a little bit about Christina, um, from her journey all the way up until now. I hope you get to enjoy this time with us. Get comfortable, grab a drink, a few snacks, dinner if you haven't, because tonight will be a show to remember. It is now time to introduce our guest. Um, I'm sure you all know her, but just in case you don't, let me introduce her. She's a great friend to me. She's Alina's mom. She's Love Shouldn't Hurt's founder. She's a hard worker. I might get this wrong, but I know her as an amazing school counselor. She's a daughter, she's a sister, and many more titles. So it is with further ado that I would like to present to you guys our guest for today, Miss Christina Vega. What's up, Chrissy?
Hi.
Hola. How are you?
I am super duper nervous because I am never on this side of the screen.
Trust and believe. I'm nervous as well.
Oh, so then we'll be nervous together.
No, but this should be good. This should be really really good. I've been working on like little different things, and it should be good. It should be really 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 good.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Whew, all right. So
Don't worry about it. Don't be nervous.
I'm gonna start off with a couple pictures that I asked of you.
I'm
Okay.
nervous now.
You should be definitely nervous. There was a couple pictures that I asked, for you to pick out of and to send me, and I'm hoping that we can get a little bit of a feel for each and every one of those pictures, and it might get a little bit emotional, and that's okay.
I cry
And
every week.
trust me, I might even shed a tear or two. So, to tell you the truth, but I'm okay with that, right? Because that's exactly it's to send out a message, to get to know a little bit about Chrissy, and to definitely like just we want to dig in, to really see who Chrissy is about because I know her as a wonderful person, a great friend. So I know that others say the same exact thing about you. But we're gonna start off with a couple pictures, and I want you to
Uh-oh.
describe that picture on when you see that picture. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Okay. That was me.
No, that is you.
I know. That was me when I was little. I don't even think I was 1 years old yet in that photo, but wow, I love that picture. What comes to mind?
Yes, what comes to mind?
Wow. Just happy times, everything always circles back to my grandmom and my mother and my sisters and just a place of family. And I love that picture every time I see it because I see my daughter a lot in it as well. So it always touches my heart. That's one of my favorite pictures of me when I was a baby.
Good. So what's the next thing that comes right after this one?
Oh, Lord. We're definitely digging through a journey here for real. That's my kindergarten picture. I was about 5 years old. Oh my goodness. That starts my Catholic school journey and going to school and the famous pigtails my mommy always did in my hair.
But deep
Very vulnerable at that
that's what I want.
time.
I want those type of
Super,
words.
super vulnerable at that time. I was shy. I was a brat at home, and I'm sure my sisters can attest, but super shy. Nothing like what I am now. I definitely don't think when I was little I thought that I would be anything as I am now because I'm super loud and boisterous now. Back then I was like,
Oh,
so
oh, that's weird. Hmm.
I know it is, right?
All right. Ready for that next picture?
I'm ready. Ay, Dios mío.
Hey, Linda. Look at her.
Oh my goodness. My first Holy Communion. Oh,
So, what comes
there's
to
a,
mind?
I lived a really, really difficult life even as a kid. And I hope that people understand that you can come from one place and get a whole lot further from where you came from. I see these pictures and they're happy reminders of me as a kid. But, I also remember sad times when I was little. I love my father to death, but we had an alcoholic father and times weren't always perfect. So, I remember childhood vividly.
Next picture. I'm trying to look for it right now. Oh, here we go. Hey, do I feel like the 90s up in here? Like, I'm digging
Too
the
much hairspray.
style.
Too much hairspray and makeup when I wasn't allowed to wear it. Because this is when I started to get a little bit más, fuego por dentro. So like I would go to school looking one way, and then when my mom would get the pictures back, she'd be like, "What are you doing with makeup on? You didn't come home with makeup, and you didn't leave with makeup." And it was like I was sneaking it when I was going to school. I put it on. So yeah, that's when the bad me started.
Oh,
Not bad, mala, mala,
no.
traviesa.
Let's go to the next picture. I'm sure this was like a little bit older.
Hey,
Hey.
high school graduation. You know, I grew up in a household where we grew up with a lot of poverty. Um, we lived in the heart of North Philly, minorities, and pretty much my mother loved me to death. But she never pushed college on us. She never forced us to do anything. It was really, I think, honestly, because of the environment we lived in, it was like at least please graduate from high school. Um, but I think that started with my older sisters because my oldest sister Arlinda started like we were the first people in our family, touche, to graduate from college. So my sister Linda was one of the first people to graduate from college, then my sister Michelle. So it kind of was like, all right, I did this high school thing and it's not what it's expected, but it's what's going to happen because I want my mom to be proud and I want to do, as well as my sisters did as well.
Okay. And I'm still digging the hair. I feel
Yeah,
like
little curls going on. I'm feeling
from
myself a little,
the rooster look a little bit, and then it just
little
went
bit.
down a little bit. I'm digging it. So what high school? What high school?
Little Flower Catholic High School for
Hey,
girls.
school. Hey, Catholic school. All right. Let's get to that next picture.
College graduation.
All right.
Say
What
smile.
college? What college? What
Chest,
college?
Chestnut Hill College. Also at the time, all girls school as well. So Catholic and all girls, high school and college. My mommy wasn't playing that.
So what comes to mind as soon as the 4 years? Actually, like try to compact everything into a couple
Everything
weeks.
in 4 years. I think college years are where I definitely found myself. I got raised in a home where my mom was super, 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 super strict. I was not allowed to do much. The things that I did were because I snuck. If kids are watching, don't do it. It's not nice. But um, when I got to college, I lived on campus, so I was able to kind of just be who I was and allow myself to be me. So college graduation was definitely even more of a sense of an accomplishment, I think, because to be totally honest and transparent, my first few years, I took school as a joke. My first 2 years in college, it was like, I'm having fun. I'm learning how to party and drink. And then it hit me really hard junior and senior year. So hard that in my senior year of college, you needed one class your fall semester. You had to pass it to get to your spring semester, and you could only take it senior year. And I failed the final paper at Christmas time. So
Uh,
when spring came and I was supposed to graduate that May, I thought I was going on to the second portion and then found out that I failed the class. So I almost didn't graduate on time. So I
ay,
literally, what?
I said, ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, I literally called my mother crying. I called my mom crying and was like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to graduate. And she was like, I did not pay money for you to go to school for 4 years for you to not graduate. So you better do what you got to do and figure it out. And I literally went to my professor and begged him to put me in both classes and give me the opportunity to rewrite that paper so that I could still do the work for the second class, but do a paper that took us almost 2 months to write in a week so that I could graduate on time. So that smile on my face was because I worked my butt off them last 2 weeks to make
You look
sure I was
like,
walking down that aisle. Yeah.
yeah, I did it.
Or my mommy was going to hit me.
All right. So that was really good. That was
Yeah.
super good. All right. So I think this will touch a little bit home for you.
Yeah. Oh. So you can't see me. I'm hidden behind the photo. But that was obviously, I've only been pregnant once. That was my daughter in my belly. Definitely a very difficult time. I went through even verbal, mental, and physical abuse during my pregnancy. Such so he didn't want me to have my daughter. I was thrown down the steps. So it was definitely, I have a smile on my face, but there was definitely a lot of pain because I knew I was going to take this journey by myself.
Which I want
Uh,
to.
that's
So,
okay.
so I'm gonna take
I had family members who loved on me dearly, and they knew that I could do it, but definitely were very strong. Sometimes we got to give that hard love, and definitely let me know this is not going to be easy. I hope you don't think it's going to be peaches and cream. You're going to be a single mom, and that's difficult. Um, it was definitely a trying time. I didn't have an easy pregnancy. Physically, I did. I had a great pregnancy physically. I felt amazing. I didn't have lots of morning sickness. I felt beautiful during that time. But mentally and emotionally, I was just not great, at a great place. I cried often. People would tell me that I needed to stop crying so much because the babies feel everything. So then I was always crying about my own situation, but then concerned that my daughter would have mental health issues because she was feeling all my pain from inside the womb. So it was a really tough time.
But guess what? You pulled through.
That's right. Sobreviví.
And check this out. This is what came out of.
Oh, that's right. That is my saving grace. That little girl right there. She was the best gift that I could ask for after all of the torment. I think God gave her to me because he knew that I needed something after that, something spectacular. And that's actually what she's been. Nothing but spectacular in my life. She's an amazing kid. Amazing kid. I have no complaints about her whatsoever.
And I'm gonna take this off because I wanna. What has Alina been to you during her 13 years?
So if people have not seen the video or even seen the interviews with myself and my daughter when she was on, um, I call her my saving grace because Alina did not only save me once, but she saved me twice through that relationship. Um, when Alina was only maybe months old, I went to a wedding, and when I came home, I call it the day that I was going to kill him. In the process of stabbing him, which is unfortunate, I kind of blanked out and was just pretty much doing what I had to do. I thought killing him would have been my answer. I thought that if I took him out and I didn't have to deal with him again, I'd never deal with the pain. And I stabbed him and I stabbed him and I stabbed him. And people who are watching are probably like, what? If they didn't see the film. It was definitely a difficult evening, but my daughter's cry snapped me out of it. And that's what woke me up. And I instantly stopped, dropped the heel, and thought, if I kill him, I won't be able to raise this little girl. And she was only like a month and a half old. So I said that was the first time she saved me. The second time she saved me was 3 years later when she was 3 years old and she saw him beating me. And he knocked me out. And when I woke up from being knocked out, she was the one who was telling the police officer at that very moment when I woke up that she saw him beating on mommy and mommy was knocked out. And that was the day that I realized, oh my God, this is going to be forever something that's on her heart, forever something she's going to remember. I have to stop. Like today has to be the end because there's no way that this little girl can live this life. So it definitely was a moment for me of just knowing that Alina was my importance. You know, sometimes we don't realize that our kids see everything that happens and it does affect them. So she's my saving grace in that aspect. But I want to say that throughout the entire 13 years of her life and my journey as a mother, and if you're watching, I cry every week, so don't worry.
Well, then you know what I'm going to do so everybody can see closer.
Oh, so Alina has not only been a saving grace those two times in my life, but she's continued to be my saving grace throughout the years. Now, if you don't know my daughter personally, um, for me to describe her, I can only say that she's the most caring, compassionate, strong willed, and funny child. And even in the moments now that I'm older and I'm consider myself wiser and I don't always make the best decisions, she is so smart behind, you know, a 13-year-old brain. And Alina is just a testament, I feel, of how I've raised her and the circle that I've provided around her of healthy people. Um, Even now, when I struggle with what am I doing right for her? Am I doing right? Am I making the right decisions? My daughter is my therapist. As crazy as that sounds, right? People are like, what do you mean she's a child? She is a child, but even in her humor, in her caring about me, and in her just being there, and even telling me about myself sometimes, like, mommy, you too grown for this. You should know better. Um, she's helped me be a better person. So I think that, you know, people say you're such an amazing person and you're this and you're that. And honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I think my daughter is a testament to being that great person because she has also molded me just as I have molded her into being who I am just by her being who she is.
I'm back. No, and I definitely agree. I totally agree. Alina is very respectful, an amazing child. She's full of life,
She
and
is.
she reminds me so much of you. And it's just getting to know her, especially during through dance
Mhm.
and things that with with Muévete. She's been absolutely great, and you should be very proud of yourself because I know that it's been a struggle for you. You know, um, I got to know more about you once, and it's been crazy because we've known each other since high school,
Mhm.
and then to know everything that you've been through, it was something shocking.
Mhm.
I remember just literally I'm getting a little bit teary eyed because I did not expect to see my friend go through so much pain. And I guess, watching you, and I'm in the actual place where it, was filmed,
Mhm.
and it was shocking. It was totally shocking. Um, and it's just I didn't even want to hear it. I did not want to hear it. I know you saw me
You
just
walked
walk
out a lot
out.
of
I
times.
walked out because I was just like, well, why didn't she say something? And like you get to think about so much,
Mhm.
and it's just. But I also understand why you didn't say anything. It's just I guess our first thing is trying to see why didn't you say anything.
Mhm.
It's always like that. It's like why didn't you say anything?
Right.
But I understand, and it's just it's amazing to see the person that after so many years did not let go, did not let yourself go down. Um, so definitely if I had a hat, my hat off to you. I'm going to go through a couple of um, things that are coming up as comments. Good evening.
Hi, Angela. Hi, Lucy. Lucy.
Alicia, great friend.
Thank you.
Margie saying, "Wepa,
Woohoo!
girl, don't trust Ray with pictures.
I provided them.
Uh, they were filtered." Um, is that class of '97? No,
No. 98.
class of '98. Just to put it out there, Cardinal Doherty, class of '98. Um, Carmen, beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
Angela, heart. Zulma, hey Zulma.
That's my love bucket.
Marilyn, hey, lovely picture. That's good.
Yes. Let's see,
I'm just gonna
Melanie.
go through these really quickly. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay.
Um, unless one is in the situation,
You want to understand why you don't say anything. Definitely.
definitely, definitely. And Helen Ortiz. Hey, Helen, Miss Helen. All right. So I'm gonna show you another picture, and I want you to be brutally honest.
Oh boy, I'm scared. Woohoo! That's me.
Now, overall, what do you see in that picture? First is what do you see in that picture?
Well, figuratively speaking, if I were to look at myself from the outside and not speak as myself, wow. So I think that I see resilience. Um, I keep saying that 2020 is my year of enlightenment and the year that I was able to kind of just be who I am and kind of love shouldn't hurt allowed me to find who I was and define me. And the Love Gala, which is actually what that picture is from, pretty much just showed how much love surrounded me and encompassed me. That day was such a testament of like support and just strength. Just all of the people who came looking out into the crowd and just seeing that there were people that didn't have seats. They were sitting around the edges. There were so many people there. And when I originally began to plan this and he gave me a number, I was like, will people even come? And then to have people the day of the event texting me while I'm sitting in the beautician's chair saying, can I come? And I'm like, we don't have enough room. Um, Perseverance I see out of that picture, confidence, things that I just didn't see a long time ago. I hated who I saw in the pictures, and even up to a few years ago I just hated who I was as a person. So I think that picture just encompassed so much about who I believe I am now.
So now, what's inside? What's the inside? That day, how did you feel that day of the Love Gala? Like, how did you expect to have? I mean, I know that you said about the having people having people there, having people stand up, but what was your feelings before anything, and then right up to that piece? What were your feelings and your thoughts, and what was it? What were you going through?
Prior to the event,
Hmm.
um fear, a lot of fear. Even though I've done this for this amount of time and I've gone through it, I still have a lot of fear. And I still feel it, to be brutally honest. Because I have an immense support system. I mean, I have so many people who support me, but there are still a lot of people who think what I do is negative. They don't see the purpose of what it is that I do. Some people think it's a man bashing community, which it's not at all if you knew what we did. Um, I still have a lot of fear just coming into the situation and the event. And going up to that event was just a lot of people going to show up. I'm doing my a nervous wreck. Yes, I was, but that's every event. um, I think honestly, the biggest thing that always comes out of it is fear. Because I know that I have a huge support system, but I still know that there are naysayers out there, and people say, "Don't feed into it. You have so much support," which I totally, totally get. I do have a lot of support, but sometimes it's scary to walk on, unstepped on waters, unshedded territory. It's hard to walk into them and hope that people are going to accept what it is that you do, especially with domestic violence, because it's such a taboo thing. So it's not always easy to do. So, no matter what I do or how many times I do things, I did a speaking engagement today where 103 people were watching me via Zoom, and it was just me. And I was terrified because in the back of your mind, you're thinking of all the people that are watching that did their boss make them watch, but they really don't want to watch? Are there still people who are listening to you saying, she doesn't know what she's talking about? So fear was my biggest feeling going up to that event. After, a sense of amazing accomplishment, because I have an amazing team who always gets busy, gets it done, and just great work. Thank you, Roberto. That's my friend from Chicago, Chi-Town. um, Definitely just after a sense of just pride and just accomplishment. I think there was a question in there for you, Ray. If you scroll up, Evelyn Ramos
Yeah,
asked you a
I was
question.
actually going to go back to that. There was a couple comments that I'm
Okay.
waiting. So I'm learning from you, Chrissy.
Woo-hoo!
So I guess it's watching you every Tuesday faithfully, and every single time you go on, I'm there faithfully watching you because
Thank
you're
you.
inspiration. So
You're
I'm going
welcome, Helen.
to go through a question. I mean, something that was said before. Um, I know I said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm so happy to be part of this group. Christina Vega, you are such an inspiration.
Thank you.
Um, there was one before this. Ray, how has having such a close friend go through
Through
change
this.
through this change you? So I really don't even know. Like it's just it's something that is it's hard to put into words. Um, it's something that when I experienced it as in just seeing it, and not more like hearing about it. I'm sorry, hearing it. It was something that that was my first time about really knowing more about domestic violence. Um, I was lucky. I can't say that I was super lucky.
Mhm.
My dad, my mom. I was raised with both parents, and Bobby never showed that. Bobby never showed, even through their hardest times and the most probably the most their difficult times. But we never really saw it. So it's just I had a great example of a man that took care of his family, never made it. If they had a difference or anything, us as the kids, we never
Never
saw
knew.
it. It's like, so I guess since I wasn't open to that piece, or I did not see that piece, I didn't really know so much about it. And then, what is it, 2 years ago?
Mhm.
You know, being in the place of where it was filmed and me looking at, and looking at you and how you were and how I did not know what I was saying yes to. I'm going to be really honest, Chrissy. I did not know what I was. I was just saying, yeah, you can use it. You know what I mean? Whatever you want, go for it. I believe in people's projects. I believe in helping out. I believe in pushing. I believe in. It's just it's that side of me um, that I like to help out. I like to help out. Um, People have helped me out. People have helped me out and pushed me, and I guess it's like I was seeing everything happen. It was like cameras, the background, makeup artist. It was so much going on that day that I was just looking back and forth, like, wow, okay,
What is
cool.
going
Like,
on?
this is cool. I was like, I like this, and it's happening here. So I'm thinking, until it hit, it was listening to the stories.
Right.
It was getting to know more about Zulma,
Mhm.
getting to know about a little bit more about Jackie. I did not know Jackie. I know Sulma, but I didn't know Sulma. Do you know what I mean? Like I knew her as the community salsera that was wherever you were and there was salsa, you had to dance with her. And that's exactly how I knew her. And I known you as in just a great friend of throughout the years. There was a time that I didn't really see you,
Mhm.
and it was just like, but when we reconnected, it was just like okay, add it right back on. It was like nothing even stopped. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's the best thing about it. It was just, and then I see this child, and I'm like, oh my God, what's your name? Alina. Like you are so much like your mother. You look like your mom, and it's incredible. And then listening to the story is just like, wow, like there's people out there that can really do this to another person, and it's just it's I just want to say a curse word, but I'm trying to hold. It's just so messed up. It's so messed up. And I'm sure that you can hear the the real word out of it.
The underlying.
Just and it just surprises you that it took what, almost 38 years for me to be a little bit blinded about domestic violence, and so you brought it to my eyes and saw like this really does happen. you
And
know
that's why we do it.
and I didn't know, and I did not know. Now it's like you gave me that little bit of knowledge that now it's like I look around and I'm like, does this sounds like it, or I'm
Right.
looking, and it's, I guess, even pushing you, people have saw me with you, and they're like, is there any way that I can talk to Chrissy? And I'm like, yeah. Oh my God, yes. And you've known, like, I've come to you and I'm like, can you talk to
Yeah.
this person? And
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's amazing. And it's just, and again, people that you could be around every day and not
Mhm.
even know nothing about. It's like, you're going through this,
Yeah.
and it's just, you could put on a smile out here, but you're crying inside.
That's right.
I'm going to go through a couple of the messages here. I don't know. I got kind of lost because I was not taking.
That's okay. Bear with him, folks, because he is nervous.
Yes, I'm a little bit nervous,
You're
but now
doing
I'm
great.
comfortable. This is good. So we have Mr. Michael. We have
Oh.
Islia. I love Islia. Love
Keep
Islia.
going. Leave her alone.
Okay. This is a blessing to many. Need to overcome a lot. This is a way to help. Exactly, especially fear. Exactly, especially fear. We have Christine Lopez. Hi.
Hi.
Maria is the most. Oh Lord, no, I'm not even
He
gonna use.
loves you.
He's funny. You are a phenomenal woman, a true warrior, and helping many.
Thank you.
Oops. Oh, Ray, you are awesome too. Oh, you're so sweet, Miss De Leon. All right. You're a great inspiration. Thank you for your courage. I was actually a part of that Zoom from work, and your story touched my heart.
Oh,
God
thank
bless you.
you.
Mission.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and watching.
Being a survivor of domestic violence, how can I be part of helping other women who may be going through this and being able to heal from the pain?
Helen, you can contact me on any of my social media, on our website, via email. We can send you that information. You can definitely be a part of our group of folks who help people. I would love to have you.
Ha ha ha.
You get
Um,
lots of love too.
it's cool. I like love.
Hi, Charlotte.
Um, my friend.
Oh, I love you
Love
too,
my friend.
Islia.
Uh, I don't
She
know
may
what that
laugh out loud. Laugh out
is.
loud.
Laughing inside little. All right. Sometimes when you're going through something so painful, like domestic abuse, and we want anyone to know, we learn how to force a smile on our face and just go through the emotions until we can't anymore.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny. That's my BFF. There you go. Love you guys. Okay,
All
there you go.
right. Let's
All
get
right.
into them.
So,
Yeah, it's coming. I'm ready.
juicy
I'm
stuff
ready.
comes in.
That's
Oh,
next half hour. I'm pumping. I'm
next time.
ready.
Yeah,
Let the questions go in. I'm
all
ready.
right. I'm not ready yet because I'm trying to look up my question. All right. So,
I'm ready.
uh, see, that's the thing that you answered actually a lot of stuff, which was good. So, does
Let's
relation does relationship abuse happen to teens?
Does relationship abuse happen to teens? Most definitely. I think that that's where it gets pretty scary because teenagers are going through the motions just as adults do. And during that time, when we're adults, we're in the moment, right? We're like, "Oh, he loves me, que lindo." And when he when he says that, he wants to look through your phone and let me see your Instagram and let me see your passwords. We could all be cool and look at each other's stuff. We seem to think as adults, we're like, oh, it's cute at first, right? But as teenagers, they're like, yeah, let's share passwords. They don't realize how it's starting. The control is starting because then it leads to who's this person that wrote to you? Why they putting kissies under all your pictures? Why they this? Why they that? And I think that it's dangerous even more so because as adults, we know it, we acknowledge it, we know that abuse is there, and we know what types of abuse there are, and like if somebody tells me or tries to control me, we definitely are like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. Well, when you're a teenager, it's hard for you to decipher whether or not that person is being abusive or if, oh, he's just being cute. He just wants to know my password so we can share it. I know his info too, but they don't realize how early it starts. So that's why we do what we do, and we start with kids and we talk to the younger kids to start with what's right and wrong, what's good, what's respectful, what's not respectful, what's good conversations, how do you talk to one another, because it leads up to that. Because when kids become teenagers, then they need to be able to see the warning signs ahead, of what he's doing isn't cute. What he's doing is trying to control you, trying to tell you how to do things, trying to manipulate you.
Next question. How does the economy affect domestic violence?
The economy has a huge effect on domestic violence because a lot of times, oftentimes, if you saw our segment from last week, a lot of people stay in their relationships due to economic challenges. They feel as though their partner is the person who is the only one who's providing that income. So they're fearful that their one income won't allow them to pay all of the bills, to take care of them and their kids. So they're scared because they're like, listen, I know he's abusing me, but he's the one that makes the most money. So if I leave and I'm no longer with him, I won't be able to take care of my kid. I won't be able to pay my bills. And economically speaking, people will stay for that. People will say, well, listen, if I know I can't do it on my own, then I have to stay. The important thing to note, though, with Love Shouldn't Hurt for anybody that's watching is that we have amazing partners that can help with those financial aspects. We can help you look for a job. We can help you with that first month's rent or down payment so that we can find you somewhere to live, because that's what you need to get ahead. And sometimes people need to have that stepping stone that you may not have that amount of money right now to get to that next stepping stone. But that's why we have affiliates and we have people who help us so that we can at least get you halfway there. We can find you a job so that you can feel confident in knowing, okay, let me budget and get myself this 1 bedroom apartment or this room for rent so that I can get out of that situation. Because economically, speaking, that shouldn't be a reason why you stay, even though that's why a lot of us stayed. I know that I had moments that I was scared that I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. So it's something that a lot of us go through. Economic plays a lot of parts, major parts in domestic violence.
Christy, I'm going to ask you, since you're so great at this part, can you do the commercial right now?
Sure. Commercial break, commercial break. As always, reminder, if anyone is dealing with domestic violence and they're worried about being around the abuser and they feel like they need help, but they can't contact someone, you can always contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. As per always, 1-800-799-7233. You can call them if you feel as though you're around that person and you're fearful they will hear you. You can text them or chat with them. You can also hit us up at www.loveshouldnothurt.com. Send us a message. We'll receive it and we'll return your message within 24 hours. You can write to us on social media. You can text us on our number. You can write to us through Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you reach out if you or someone you love is dealing with domestic violence.
All right, and now we're back. All right, that was a great commercial. All right, so next piece. Why do victims sometimes return or stay with their abusers?
So I can only speak for myself. And in all of the answers that I'm giving, I'm speaking for myself because individually, every person who goes through domestic violence has a different story. They have a different reason for why they're there. So in my own situation, I can only speak for me. There were so many different reasons why I stood. One of them being fear. I mean, that was probably the biggest and major reason for me. Being fearful of all of the threats that were made towards my family. They'd kill my sisters, they'd kill my father, they'd blow up my grandmother's home, they'd go after my sisters, they'd go after my brother-in-laws. I had a huge fear to involve my family. I was definitely scared that if I involved them and I left and they found out about it, one of them would be hurt, one of them could be killed. And then in my eyes, I'm like, okay, I caused this death. I caused this violence to happen to my family. So I'm going to stay. I'm going to deal with it the best that I can so that I can make sure that my loved ones are not hurt. Another reason was huge sense of embarrassment, a huge sense of guilt. I was guilty and totally embarrassed because I was working in the social services field. I was a social worker at the time, and I'm dealing with kids, and on a daily basis, I'm telling kids and even families when they come in for sessions, make sure that you're respected, know your worth. Telling these girls in group sessions, like, you're fantastic, you're amazing, make sure you know that you're worth it, and you never let anyone disrespect you. And then when I walk out of the door and I go home, I'm getting punched in the face, I'm getting my hair pulled, I'm getting my head banged against the wall. Definitely not allowing to see my own self-worth, not allowing for myself to receive self-respect. So it was definitely a huge sense of guilt and shame on my part. So I was like, wow, if I let people know, I'm shameful because they're going to say, who is she to have to go to work every day and telling these girls that they should be doing this, that, or the other? And she's, mira, que hipocrita. She's not even living that life. She doesn't even, and that's how it was for plenty of my situations. Because as my best friend stated, I didn't only deal with him. He might have been the worst, but I dealt with abuse in all of my relationships. I was constantly cheated on, constantly belittled, constantly called trash and treated like trash. Mental and verbal abuse have been my entire journey through relationships, my entire life, whether it was through a teenager, through my 20s, in adulthood. I have always accepted less than what I deserved. And I think that it was always an embarrassment to me because who am I to try to uplift others when I'm going through it? So it was always a sense of feeling like I'm a hypocrite. How can I do this? I only learned in the past few years in my own growth, in my own personal growth, and even through Love Shouldn't Hurt, that I can be a huge resource to people because people who look just like me are going through this every day. And I should not be embarrassed of my past. I should, like I always say, my pain became my purpose. And it allowed me to remove all of those fears in me, all of those shames, and all of the embarrassment that I felt, and say, listen, what I went through is a testament that can help someone else. So why did I stay? Because I was scared. I was terrified that I wasn't the person everyone expected me to be. Everyone thought that I was funny, that I was bubbly, and I was just this great person, but they had no idea of what it is that I went through. And I was carrying a persona for a lot of people. I wasn't being really who I was. I really had two different personalities. I had who I was when I was at work and in public, and then I had the person at home who was a coward and just allowed myself to deal with it.
And it just becomes so shocking. Like when me getting to know you more and more through time, it is shocking because you're you are that bubbly person. You are that amazing person that just like she lights up the room. Like what's up? And you're like, and Chrissy, the one I know that's loud and just funny. And to see this person go through like through so much, and I'm like, and I look at it, and I'm like, but she went through like she's amazing. Like, how is it you've you've grown, you graduated high school, you graduated college, you got your master's degree, you work with students, you work with your community, you it's a you tend to sometimes think this person that has achieved so many goals and is probably you don't even know that you're inspiring another person. you know you can go through it. You
Mhm.
can go through those moments that are rough, and it's just and I keep on saying that it's shocking because of the fact that it was just 2 years ago that I known about this.
Mhm.
So to me, even right now, even getting to know you, it's just like wow, like I'm still getting to know Chrissy, and it's because of the fact that I know this person that I'm so cool with, loud with, uh, I'm just me, and it's just, and getting to know what you really went through behind that smile, it tears me up. You know what I mean? Because and it's not only the male's perspective, as in, but it's just totally like you stay in awe because of the fact that why would somebody really think about making another person go through so much? What do you get out of going through so much, or basically, what do you get out of your insecurities? What do
Mhm.
you get out of that? And you tend to like really think about it, and you try to like focus on like trying to know the why, and it's like I would it would it's mind-boggling. It's just I can't
Mhm.
even start to think about would what would be the why. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's just and like I'm just so sorry like that you have gone through so much, but at the same time, Chrissy, there was a light at the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel. So it's like,
There was.
wow, love shouldn't hurt. We wouldn't be here right now, you know, turning the tables, and getting to know a little bit more about you, and things like that, and you helping out others. Um, so I'm gonna,
I know you had questions submitted before.
Lord, oh, I'm not gonna tell you though. Those are gonna be the good ones for it, right
Okay.
after you.
I'll just let people know
She
who are
knows too
watching.
much. I don't know. She knows too much.
I'll let people know who are watching. I hope you're comfortable because I think we're going to go over that hour. I
So
hope that's okay.
if you can say 13 years ago and talk to the person in 2020, which is you. So you're in 2020, but you want to talk to the person that was there by the time before Alina was born.
You want the 2020
What would
version
you
to talk to the 2013 version, the
what
20
would you say to the
2002 version?
2002 version? What would you say to her, knowing everything that you know today?
My advice to my old self. Wow. You gonna make me cry.
It's okay, sweetie. No problem.
I was so broken back then. And I think the reality is that I was probably still broken up until maybe the past few years, honestly, if I have to be totally transparent, right? Since I'm in the hot seat. Um, I just believe that I grew from that time and I wasn't as broken per se in the past few years, but I was extremely broken up until the past few years. I'll say that. If I had to talk to the Chrissy of 2002, I would say there is a light at the end of that tunnel. And what's happening now will not be your end. You're definitely going to make it. And even though right now you feel like you're not going to get through it, just know that you have every single thing that you need to become an amazing person. And it probably sounds super cliche, but I think the me of 2002 would have needed to hear that because I don't think that I even believed in who I was at that time, no matter how happy I seemed to be or portrayed. Um, even though I made it out at that time, there were moments where I said he's gonna kill me at some point, and this is just my life. I never had the balls. I don't have the balls, and he's gonna kill me. And there were times that I just accepted that, and I just accepted it as my fate. And I think because of that, I stayed away from family and friends because I didn't want per se their attachment to me because I honestly thought I'd never make it to 2020. I don't think people still to this day understand the depth of my pain at that time. And it's not anyone's fault because I never allowed anyone in. So if I had to talk to her, I would say, Chrissy, you're going to make it. No matter what pain you're going through right now, know that you're going to be resilient. You're going to persevere. You're going to get through this. And that horrible person you see in the mirror right now, you're going to love her one day. You're going to love her and you're going to thank her for who she is right now, because who she is at this very moment in 2002 is going to make you who you are in 2020.
So these allergies are crazy today. I don't know, but it's just
I got them too. I got them too.
it's crazy. I'm just about to sleep in my eyes. It's just all right. I'm sorry about that. It's just I just wanted to know exactly what would you say to that person? You know, what would you say to yourself? You know, and it's just it's you're strong. I'm just gonna keep on repeating it. You're strong, girl. You're strong. Um, so describe Christina in 3 words. Just describe yourself. Just 3 words. No more than 3 words. 3 words.
Resilient, determined, I can say 1,000 different words because I think of how goofy I am. Resilient, determined, empowered.
Amen. So when you were a child, what did you aspire to be today? Like when you grew up, you were like, "This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be." I want to know what was a Chrissy even as a child. What did you think about? Like, I want to be a nurse. I want to be a doctor. I want to be
I wanted to be a teacher,
okay.
which in a funny sense, I'm not, but I feel like I am. The craziness is I'm like hot and cold, hot and cold. The craziness is I went into my undergraduate experience as a teaching major. And then I went through a couple courses and I was like, ooh, no, this is not for me. I cannot be in a classroom. I cannot deal with kids. And fast forward 20 years later, and I'm a school counselor and I love dealing with kids. Like I miss them so much right now. Like I'd rather be in school than at home. Um, I wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a wife by this point. I wanted to have 3 kids. Um, yeah, that's who I thought I was. I thought I was going to be a teacher with a nice house, a husband, and some kids.
What you
So
mean?
now I'm a school counselor, a single mom living in an apartment with 1 baby girl, and I'm okay with that.
But you
Simple
still have
life.
time. You still have time. You're only 39 in 12 months.
That's right. That's right.
So I would say continue doing whatever you're doing. So you're doing great. But
And even if I don't reach all of those things, I'm very content with who I am right now.
definitely. Amen. So now I'm going to bring out the good questions.
Oh, wow. Scared.
All right. So this was submitted questions. This person asked to be anonymous. So I'm going to just ask you the question. Have you ever verbally or mentally abused someone in a relationship or friendship? If yes, do you reflect on it? And have you ever apologized or owned up to it?
Absolutely. I think that in every person's journey, child, parent, friend, regardless, I think we are all at some point guilty of that. Um, I cannot say that I'm perfect because no one is perfect in any retrospect of who we are. There's no person walking on this earth who's perfect. And I would be wrong to get on here and lie. I have been verbally abusive, of course, in my own relationships. Um, and I can say, oh, I can use the excuse because that's what I want to say. I don't want to excuse myself from anything that I've done. I can use the excuse that, oh, they were mean to me, so I treated them poorly. They treated me like crap, so they deserve for me to talk to them that way. That's an excuse. And I say that because knowing how painful it is for me to receive that respect, I should have always in the back of my mind known to give that respect. And I know they say you give respect to get respect, but I think that sometimes as an adult, we have to accept where our own fault lies. So have I, yes, been abusive in my relationships as well? Never physically, just with my daughter's father at that moment when I fought back. But verbally, I own up to that. Yes, I've had moments where I have been disrespectful as well to my partner. You know, we've been in an argument, and instead of holding my tongue and walking away, I have lashed out and I have said disrespectful things. In friendships and relationships, absolutely. I can own up to that. I've had moments where I have said things that have hurt friends, that have made them feel less of a person. I can own up to that fact because, again, as an adult, we have to own up to our wrongs as well. I have a friendship that I have not been a part of for the past 3 years. And we grew up together and we went to college together and we were so close. And because of a minor disagreement, our friendship has not gone on the past 3 years. And honestly, I think it actually has been longer than that. Honestly, looking back, my sister's 45, so it's been 5 years since I have not spoken to this person. And just, I would say 3 weeks ago, I owned up to that and I wrote to that person and I said that I was sorry for anything that I had hurt them with. And I was sorry for the way that I made them feel. And if anything that I did was a part of ruining our relationship, I'm sorry. And the person I thought would be nasty, and they replied so happy and so humbly and was just like, you have no idea how just your apology made my heart feel so full right now. I've thought about you so much in all of this time. And just hearing you say, I'm sorry, just changed it. So yes, you know, I have friendships now that aren't fabulous. And I own up to a lot of the things that I've done wrong to hurt those friendships. So have I been verbally abusive or hurt people in a certain way? Yes, absolutely. I think at some point, I think we all do.
Thank you. So next one. Woo. When women or males have opened up to you
Mhm.
about abuse,
Okay.
have you ever thought to yourself, she's lying, or realized that she is the abuser?
So I think, to be totally honest, so I think that to be the person that I am in the role that I play, it's super, super important to have gone into this mission knowing that I'm going to encounter a lot of different people. I'm going to encounter women, men, um, people from the LGBTQ community, people from all sorts of walks of life. And I think that you have to go into this with the mindset that there are going to be people who are going to tell you the absolute truth. There are going to be people who may stretch the truth. But that is not my job to decide who's right and who's wrong. So, with every case and every person who comes to me, I try my best to always remain devil's advocate and see it from both sides. I try to never say, she lying, because you know what? That person that I say she's lying to and I disregard may be going through legitimate abuse, and me not giving them the help and catering to them as I would any other client could be that person losing their life or being abused even more badly. So, it's never been my place to play judge and jury. I can't decide if the person is telling me the truth or not. All I can do is what I do with every single client: take everyone seriously, believe in what they say, and provide the best support the best way that I can. If the person is being honest with me, I hope that I can be a help to them and it can be amazing for them. If they're not being honest with me, I hope that in time, as the time goes on, they would either be honest with me or kind of just move on from that situation. But you know, I've never played judge and jury, and I've never played devil's advocate because I think, to be fair, that's just not my role.
Have you ever had that person that maybe just wants to just basically open up and just talk and not really, because there's people that are good with advice, and there's some people that just don't want the advice. They just want to basically open up and just take everything that's on their chest and just say, this is, and oh, take it out, tell you, and just like, now I feel better. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my, unfortunately, abusive relationship and continued because they have this love for them, which are blinded.
Right.
What do you say to them that just like, oh, no, 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 I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it,
No.
I just want to tell you what I feel and then thank you. What goes to
No.
your mind, or what do you say to that person?
So unfortunately, I know several people um, who I have witnessed their own verbal and mental abuse. Um, and I think that something that I've said forever and will continue to say, and I say to people when they ask me things like this, like, how do I talk to someone when they're still going to stay in the relationship? Continue to love on those folks. Continue to just remind them that you are that listening ear. Listen to them. No matter what your opinion is. If you think he's a scumbag, you think she's a scumbag, or you think she's stupid for staying, and I'm speaking in general sense. If you're that person who knows, wow, she's being abused, I don't believe she's still staying. Stop being so judgmental. Stop putting your personal beliefs on who they are, because it's going to take that person 15, 20 times before they actually walk away. Sometimes they may never walk away, but you may bless that person just by being a listening ear, just allowing them to give you that advice, just allowing them to have that time. Because you know what? When I went through my abuse, I felt alone, and I repeat this, not because I didn't have lovely, amazing people in my life, because my circle's the bomb and my family is amazing and my sisters are awesome and my mother I love to death and my grandmother, God bless her, she was an amazing person. I was alone because I chose to be alone, because I felt like if I shared that, my pain would give them pain. So if someone comes to you and they give you that information, not because they want you to do anything, but because they just want you to listen, listen to them, because they need that. If they're coming to you, they're seeking that because that's what they need at that moment. They need that ear, and they don't need judgment. They don't need you to tell them that they're stupid because they're staying. They don't need you to tell you that you're an idiot. They need to know that they have someone in you that they can trust. And when they feel brokenhearted, they know that when they crawl in that corner, they can pick up the phone and text you and call you. And if I'm going to cry, Chrissy's going to make me feel better. Ray's going to make me feel better. Evelyn's going to make me feel better, because they know that they have that comfort in you. And you know what? Sometimes because they have that time with you and they have you to be there to be that supporting person, you may help them get out of that relationship without even knowing it, because all those times that you're talking to them, at some point they begin to listen. But if they don't, just keep your mind open. It's not you to decide what they do. If a person has not chosen to leave that bad relationship, you are not the person to be judge and jury. You cannot sit there and judge them and make that judgment. So if somebody says, listen, I need you to hear me out. I need you to not pass judgment. I need you to not call him an asshole. I need you to not call her a jerk. I need you to just listen. Do it. Listen to them, because they're reaching out to you. Clearly, they're opening that door. They need it.
But my question also, like, it moves to, unfortunately, what happened to your great friend Linda. You know, how does a person even try to begin to even help? Like, it's like, that this person is going through so much, and like, that person calls you, and a constant call, constant call, constant call, and you know that they're going through this, and you're trying to avoid, unfortunately, death. What do you do? Like, how is it, as me as the listener, what do I do next? Do I just continue to listen and then wait until, God forbid, something she or he passes away,
Right.
and then say, I'm sorry, I wasn't there? But how can the person that's listening, and they're going through this right now, that they have a friend, what do they do? Like, what can they really truly do, genuinely do, to help out this person?
So I want to make sure that I note this, because I don't ever want to pull off any type of false impression for anyone. And I've always been honest when I come on here. I want to always be honest. First thing that I want to say for anybody that's watching, I am not the ultimate answer. I will not have all of the perfect answers. So that's my preface before I go into my answer. I'm not always going to give the best answer. My answer may not be the answer you get when you ask someone else. My answer may not be what would be your answer if someone asked you this. I don't know. I'm not all knowing, is what I'm saying. So I can only give you an idea of what I would think you should do. I want to also say that Linda was a friend through my best friend. She was my best friend's close friend. I knew Linda every time I saw her through occasions, special events, parties. We would go out, girls' nights, things of that nature. So I wasn't privy to very personal information. My best friend may have been privy to some information just in hearsay from her. This is what I'm going through. I feel bad, things of that nature. Knowing her, though, she wasn't a stranger. She was a friend, and she is the reason why we started Love Shouldn't Hurt. But knowing her, I wish I was more close. I wish I had a tighter bond because I know what I dealt with and I lived through. And her partner and herself both were familiar with the fact that I went through domestic violence because during that time they knew, like others knew. um, I wish that I could have been some sort of help towards her. I wish I was able to tell her, you can do this, you can get out of it, and be that push for her. I think that when you're in those situations and you're the friend, I think it's super important if the person is not seeking the help from you, but they're talking, for you to love on that person and allow them to know that, listen, I called you to see how you're doing. Know that if anything ever happens, I'm here regardless. 2, 3 in the morning, you can call me. If you need me because you feel like you're going through something, 4, 3 in the morning, 5, 6, you can call me. You don't have my number? Oh, I'll give you my number. You need my email? Here's my email. You need to be friends on Facebook? Here's my. Reminding them constantly that you're here, embracing them with your love always. And people say, what do you mean by that? Just always being there, no matter what. Calling them and saying, listen, I love you. And I say this because when I dealt with it, if I had people always calling and telling me, I love you, or saying, hey, listen, I'm here, maybe I would have felt more comfortable to kind of open up. But I think that friends and family kind of just was like, we think something's going on. We're not sure. We don't want to get involved because we don't know, what's going on. And they kind of were fearful of interjecting because they didn't know what my reaction would be. If I would be like, what are you talking about? Or if I would be mad at them and not talk to them. But if you feel as though a friend or a family member is going through something, continue to surround them with love and let them know that you're ever present. You're there. You're going to always be there. And I mean, if this is someone you believe is going through abuse, blow their phone up every day. Throw them a text every day. I love you. Call them every day. Leave them a voice message. Girl, you are beautiful. Remember that. Own that. Call me if you need me. I'm here, if anything, constantly, constantly, even if you become annoying, because at least they know someone could be on that other end if I need them. Maybe I should call her. Chrissy's been calling me every day. She says I could call her at 3 in the morning. Maybe I should utilize her. Maybe I should call her. For me, that's what I would do if I felt like someone's going through abuse and they're scared to do it. I would constantly love on that person so that they know, you know, I don't think she knows what I'm going through, but maybe if I talk to her, I have someone I can lean on. And like I said, I don't have all the answers. I get on here as a support constantly, and I'm hoping that I can extend my help to as many people as I can, but I don't have all of the answers, and I can't act as though I'm perfect and I know the answers. But for me, if I know someone's going through abuse and I realize they're not trying to tell me about it, I'm gonna love on them because they need someone. They're getting negativity every day from one side. They need to get the positivity on the other side as well, so that the positivity can combat that negativity. And if they feel like I need to reach out to someone, they're gonna remember, damn, Chrissy offered. Chrissy did say I could call her if something happened. So if in the middle of the night you got a gun to your head, I'm sorry to be extreme, or you have somebody beating on you and they left for an hour and you're like, okay, I got 20 minutes. Who can I call? I'm gonna pop up in their head because I've been blowing their phone up. I've constantly been telling them I love them, and if they need me, I'm here. I hope that answered.
No, that's great. That's great. And I'm going to ask you once again if you can do the insert.
Commercial break. Just a reminder for everybody watching. I know we're over an hour, and listen, it might go longer than that, but just a reminder for those who are watching and who are always watching that you can always contact the 1-800 line for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can talk, text, or chat. If you feel as though you're around your abuser and you're scared to call them, you can text them and let them know you're going through some form of domestic violence, and they will help you as best as they can. I'm sorry, I didn't interject this in the first commercial, but I'm going to do that today. I spoke with a few radio dispatchers who have advised me that they are trained. If you want to call 911 at any time, but you are with your abuser and you're fearful of contacting 911 because they're in the room, you can contact 911. Ask them for a pizza. They are trained to ask you, are you in any danger? Yes, I'd like a large pizza. Do you need help? Is the abuser with you? Yes, you can give me a side of fries to that. As long as you are making your answers something that sounds like yes, 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 they're already trained to know and dispatch someone to go off to your locations. You can also call them and say any nonsense. Hi, I'm calling to check on the order that I made for you. Are you in any form of danger? Yes. Did you get my invitation to whatever party I sent for you? Ma'am, are you in danger? Yes. I never received your RSVP. Are you coming? Ma'am, can we go out to your location? Yes. Can you come out? Things like that. So that people know when you call 911 and you're speaking to the dispatcher, just know that the person on the other line is trained. They will get what you're trying to say if you continue to stay on the phone and answer their questions. So I think that's super important to announce, because I think sometimes we're fearful of contacting law enforcement when we're in the midst of danger, because we're fearful that the person is around us. You can call them, you can say things that sound strange to them, but they are trained to listen. You can also hit us up at loveshouldnothurt.com, all of our social media, and our email.
That was actually amazing. And you got me hungry at the same exact time. That's actually really good to know, though, Chrissy. That was really, really good to know. So this is where there's a really good question right now that I was just like, whoa. All right.
I'm scared.
So yeah, I was even like, okay, good question. All right. So after experiencing abuse, so this is going to be more the intimate side.
Okay.
Okay. So if there's any kids in watching,
Time to walk out.
step away from your phones or your laptops, right about right now. All right. So after experiencing abuse, is it possible for a woman to allow her partner to be rough during intimacy? Hair pulling, spanks, soft bites, a little choke. So this was a question that was submitted. How would you feel?
My cheeks are red, not just from blush, because I'm definitely embarrassed right now.
Okay,
No, okay. It's okay. It's okay. I got the air conditioner on. It's fine.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh-oh. Cover up your cheeks.
Even they're red. No, no, no. Go ahead.
So after abuse, you're saying when you're intimate with your partner, is it okay? Again, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anyone else, and what their experience are. For myself, being totally honest. Um, I hope there's no kids watching.
Alina, if you're on right now, get off.
Dismiss yourself from the room. Um, I honestly have not been affected in that way in certain situations. I will say this, and I'll be totally honest about it. I don't mind being bit. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying all of this.
You know
I'm
what?
not
I'm
going to
gonna
get
get
into
it first.
details.
I'm gonna.
He removed himself so he doesn't turn red. Okay, so the world gets to see me red. I don't mind certain things when in intimacy. Um, it did not affect me in that way. There are certain things that I do not like. Um, wow. So there are certain things that I do not like because of other types of abuse that I have gone throughout my entire life. I will say that. When it comes to intimacy with a partner, um, there are certain things that I will not allow, but not because of my domestic violence, because of other forms of abuse that I had to go through as a young child. I will say that. So, certain things that happened to me as a child, because of that, there are certain things that I will not do or let people do to me intimately because it will trigger those bad memories. When it comes to other things like honestly pulling my hair or biting and things like that, I don't mind it too much. Oh my God, you're really learning about me today. It's wild. Ray, you can come back now.
So we
All
just
right, next.
okay, yeah.
That's
So
what we're here.
moment of silence. All right, this no, but no, it just it does kind of make you think because would it trigger a person, you know, and it's just if you're being hit, you know, on a regular basis, you know, you don't. It's bad enough that the person has to go through uh, verbal, mental, you know, like all these things
Right.
as in physically abused, and then to try to do that during, you know, intimacy.
I'll say this.
It's
I'll
like
say this, and I'm sorry to interject. With that partner, it definitely is not something you want because totally with that partner, with the person that is abusing you, definitely. If they pull your hair or they smack you, which are things that let's all be adults because we're adults on here watching. If you're adult and you have that type of relationship with your partner and these are things that you like, um, I think that that's something you like and you deal with it. You know, you're not thinking about it if that's something you enjoy. If you're with the abusive partner, that definitely is something you don't like at that moment. Because, yes, in that moment of that abuser forcefully having intimacy with you or forcefully pulling your hair, you're not going to think of it in an intimate partner type of way. You're going to think of it as abuse. It's not going to be enjoyable. I think that that's different aside from someone who's not the person who's abusing you. Because if this is something that you've enjoyed prior to that abuse or just in general, I don't think you're going to see it in the same way. But that's just for me because every person has different, it's like PTSD. Everybody deals with their feelings differently. I see Amaryllis Ocasio says she wouldn't answer that question, too personal. But this is what tonight was about, being super, super open and transparent and learning about me. So I am not upset in any way. Um, I think it depends on the circumstance and the situation. Like I said, if you're going through some sort of rape or some sort of like violent act, you're not going to want that to happen. You're not going to want to feel those things or do those types of things in the bedroom because these are things that were abusive and harmful of you. But if you're not with your abuser, depending upon the person, it may not be something that you're like against doing or things like that. But again, I'm only speaking for me because there are so many different women and men in the world who have dealt with abuse differently and may take it differently. Like I stated, there are certain things that I won't do, but not because of my domestic violence, because of previous abuse that I suffered.
and just to also piggyback on what you said about with the the comment, I wouldn't have answered that too personal. Just to let you know, Amaryllis, it's just you know, Chrissy is open to also say I do not want to answer that.
Right.
So just so you know, just so you guys know, um, and some of these questions, you know, especially these type of questions, she kind of knew where I was going to go to with these questions. So it's
With
not something.
Ray, I knew that it would be scary, so I'm okay.
So, and I would never make a person feel uncomfortable either.
Mhm.
We might be a little bit silly, but
Mhm.
it's all in good faith.
Yeah.
Um, so we're gonna recap. You know, we're gonna just close out. And I just want to say, I mean, first, thank you for actually being open to this to this idea of getting to know you a little bit more, and basically really digging into the person that has been helping others. And super thank you. You know, it's just I even got to know you a little bit more. You know, and it's just sometimes you think that you know the person, and you just get to know them that a little bit more, and
Mhm.
then the next time I'll know you a little bit more. So it's just and there's times that people are gonna think that they know you. You know, oh, they
Mhm.
know you. Ah, but yes, I tal tal. This is that person that's is constantly over here. This and but you don't know. You know, you don't know what's behind closed doors sometimes.
Mhm.
And thank you for actually opening up yourself. You know, tonight and getting to know at least a little bit more about yourself. And I know that it's been tough, and I know that there was moments of a little bit of laughter, a little bit of
Mhm.
crying, a little bit, you know. But thank you for allowing that.
You're
And
welcome.
just to also close it out, I just want to have you. I'm going to give you a little bit of time of basically doing a closing statement on whatever that you would like to recap on what you experienced today. All right.
Okay. Well, I want to say this just for everyone watching. I'm always super, super thankful for everyone who takes out the time to just be here and watch every week, because you could be doing anything else with your family, with your friends, with your partners, anyone. So one, just a huge thank you to the people who constantly come on and support me and are here, because I'm definitely humbled by all of you for always just being here. I'm to a lot of you, I'm just a face in the screen. You don't know me, you don't know everything about me, and you probably, some of you haven't even met me before in person, so I'm super appreciative for that. I want to say you're welcome to Ray over and over again, because this was amazing and a humbling experience for me as well. I love getting on here, I love getting feedback. People say that I was made to do this, but it's not that I was made to do it. I think that I just grew into it, just because I've always been a very outspoken person, and just a crazy, bubbly human being. And just getting here, you guys all actually just feed me. You fill my cup constantly with just being here and being super supportive, just with myself, and even not only just the show, but just my mission in general. 2 years ago, I wasn't the same person that I am today. And I think that I say with confidence, and I said that just last week with Jessica, that I'm a better person now than I've ever been, in my entire life. And I think that it's a testament to who I've become, growing through Love Shouldn't Hurt. I think that helping others and just being here for other women and seeing them go through their struggles and being able to help them has also molded me into another person, because I think that we all carry this persona. We are who we are on a constant basis, but we also, you know, become different parts of ourselves at different points in our lives. And I think that I was meant to be who I was at 21. I was meant to be who I was at 25. I was meant to be who I was when I turned 30. And I'm definitely meant to be who I am at 40, 39 and 12 months, and I know we joke about it, but I turned 40 on Sunday, and I'm super, super happy. I joked all week like I am old, but honestly, I think the best is yet to come for me. I think that I have found myself in the past few years, and I think that I'm such an amazing person now. And I didn't think that a long time ago. So I think that that's a testament of growth, of knowing that, my pain did serve as my purpose. My pain did show me who I was. And I don't regret, people are like, oh, I wish you never went through it. And, I think at a point in my life, I think I said that too. I wish I wouldn't have gone through it. And then now seeing who I am and looking back at that time, I'm grateful. As crazy as it sounds, I'm super, super grateful to have gone through what I went through, because it has made me who I am. And I think that I am a phenomenal person. And not to say that I never was, but I think that going through what I went through allowed me to find myself, allowed me to be the person that I am now. I'm not a perfect mother, but I think I'm a great mother. And I think I'm a great mother because of my circumstances, because of my experiences, because of the people that I have allowed in and out of my life, for the, exchange of friendships, for the exchange of people around me, the people who love on me and support me. I think I'm a better person, and I've grown from that. And I think that my daughter is a huge testament to that. I think that her being so phenomenal has taught me, who I can be. I've gone through so many phases in life. I was an annoying teenager. I drove my sisters crazy. They wanted to kill me all the time. Not physically, for real, but I drove them nuts all the time. I gave my mother tons of headaches. I was not perfect. I went through my 20s making so many mistakes, doing things I shouldn't have done, dating men that I knew were wrong for me, but I was seeking validity in anything and anyone. And I'm 40, and I just feel like I'm who I'm supposed to be now. Like, I'm really who I'm supposed to be. And it's a testament of my entire walk of life and where I've gotten, and a testament to the amazing people in my life. My grandmother's not here anymore. She was the biggest supporter of mine, and I'm who I am because of her as well. She was a great, great support to me. My mother was a single mother, and she raised three phenomenal women. My sisters are amazing people. If you don't know my sisters and you meet them, they're amazing. My sisters, I mean, I admire both of my older sisters. They're just fantastic women. And I think they also have shaped my life. So I think I'm going to cry again because I'm a crybaby. If I can say anything about today, it's just that you all continue to empower me, to motivate me, and just help me be a better person. I thank you guys for just believing in me, for being here every week, and just for believing in my mission and knowing that this is not for any type of stardom, any fame, or even to get attention. I do what I do because I extremely, extremely just feel like everyone out there needs someone. And if I can be that someone for one person, I just feel blessed to be that person. Thumbs up.
So just also just give a little bit of a closing. I'm gonna keep you right there, Chrissy. You're not going over because mine's gonna be this way. It's just I learned. I learned. I'm gonna try to look at directly towards the camera. I know that I've been looking to the side. Um, it's just getting to know signs, getting to know more, educating myself, and wanting to learn. That's one of the major things is I've been wanting to learn. So that's why I get on. I make sure that I'm constantly watching. I ask questions. I do my research,
Mhm.
and and that's one of the major factors on why I believe so much in Chrissy. And love shouldn't hurt, and it's gonna be, trust me, it's gonna be bigger. It's gonna grow, because I will continue pushing. I will continue pushing, but educate yourselves. Educate. Know the whys. If you don't know
Yes.
the whys, get to know overall the signs. Get to know your family. Get to know your friends. Be there, support each other, and overall, you're gonna feel better at least knowing that that person continues being safe.
Mhm.
Um, it's just something that I did not even really even think about because of the fact that since it wasn't in my world,
Mhm.
I didn't expect it to be in other people's world, you
Yeah.
know, and that's a great part about just wanting to learn, the wanting
Mhm.
to expand your knowledge and say, you know what, I want to be there,
Yeah.
I just want to be there, and it's simple as that. Um, and again, Chrissy, thank you
You're
for
welcome.
letting me even host. And I know sometimes these crazy ideas come out of nowhere, but I love this, and it will continue, growing, and I will continue supporting you in any way I can. And it's just, I humbly just thank you. Thank you
You're
for,
welcome.
and, and if you felt some type of way, I apologize.
No, no, it's okay.
But it's just, we got to know Chrissy a little bit more today, and we will continue knowing Chrissy a little bit more each and every single time that every Tuesday we're going to get to know. And I'm glad that we're at least getting in there and grabbing more and more knowledge, because Carmen just said, I wish I would have known this back, when you were talking about the calling 911.
Right.
Is it something recent as in now, or is this something that just, or
911
have they always?
operators are trained in just emergencies, clearly, because that's what they do. I think they've always known. I think for ourselves, this is new for us because we weren't aware. And I think because we didn't look for that information. And that's why I asked recently on my status if anyone knew of any um, police dispatchers, and people were like, "Why? Oh my goodness!" But it was only because I want helpful information. What I do every week is pretty much make sure that I give out information that's always helpful for people who are watching, and I hope that it can help someone in a situation, and I hope that that information now can help someone if they're ever in that type of situation. So I think it's always been there. They're very well trained. I think it's just something that we weren't aware of. So I wanted to make sure that publicly people were aware that this was something that you can call and they will know what you're calling for.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chrissy, again. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was just a great evening. Sorry that we went over the hour. It's been an hour and a half, but it was definitely informative. It was
Yes.
great. And I'm just gonna tell you, continue wearing your masks.
That's right. It's super important right now.
All right, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye, Chrissy. If you have anything else.
Nope. Just to anyone who has commented and we weren't able to see your messages or get into your comments, I will look at every single comment and message when we get off, like I normally do, and I will respond to all of you. Thank you again, guys. Thank you, Ray, for hosting. It was amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Buenos nachos. Yo, fellas, y'all ready to do this? Yo, what's up, guys? Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.